It's escalated, obviously, and it's deteriorated the relationship between the two countries, which was already on pretty bad footing. People in the region, including, ironically, the Taliban, are now calling on both sides to
Pakistan now, where airstrikes were carried out in Iran by Pakistan overnight on what Pakistan says are terrorist targets. It came 2 days after Iranian strikes on Pakistani territory. Well, Samer Al-Atrush is covering the story for The Times and joins us now. Just take us through what happened overnight. What was targeted and was it successful?
Well, the Pakistani Air Force says that it targeted Baluch separatist militant groups in Pakistan across the border. It seems that a number of people have been killed in the attacks, and the militants or the separatists are on both sides of the border, the Iranian-Pakistani border. They do have ambitions for their own state, but this does seem to be a retaliation for the Iranian attack on what it also claimed were Baluch militants in Pakistan 2 days ago. So it's escalated, obviously, and it's deteriorated the relationship between the two countries, which was already on pretty bad footing. People in the region, including, ironically, the Taliban, are now calling on both sides to de-escalate. And, this really started with Iran lashing out at what seems to have been a short list of enemies after last week's bombings in Kerman, when dozens of people were killed when suicide bombers attacked a memorial for the slain militant leader Qasem Soleimani. So they, in quick succession, have claimed that they have struck a Mossad facility in Erbil in Kurdistan, although they've offered no proof that it was used by the Mossad, militants in Iraq, and now militants in Pakistan. And it seems as though they're sending a message to, again, a short list of enemies and possible enemies, that they are not weak. And it seems that both countries, Iran and Pakistan, are also sending messages domestically that they are not weak and that they are ready to retaliate.
I mean, it's pretty extraordinary when you've got the Taliban asking everyone to calm down. But, I mean, when you've got airstrike, clearly there's already the situation in Israel and Gaza. We've seen what's happened with the US and UK strikes against the Houthis. You've got Pakistan and Iran firing missiles at each other. How worried should we be about this escalating, either deliberately or accidentally?
Well, I think there's a range of views. In the backdrop, I think everyone is very, very worried. I think people are still counting on sort of calculations or the rules of brinksmanship in which sides, be it Hezbollah in Lebanon versus Israel, be it Iran versus Pakistan, the Houthis versus the Americans and the Brits and vice versa, they have all laid out a series of ground rules on not escalating. But again, those things can go sideways very, very, very quickly. It's an impossible situation to control. It's been expanding and not diminishing since over the past few weeks. For instance, I think the conventional wisdom has been that Hezbollah and Israel won't go to war. Neither side is interested in going to war. But increasingly, it seems that a war between Israel and Lebanon is a matter of when, not if. So the situation is quite worrying, I think, to many people in the region. And there's still things that we haven't, I think, even really contemplated. One of them, the Americans are concerned about this, is to see a uprising in the Palestinian West Bank. So they've been asking Israel to transfer funds to the authorities there and to rein in some of the extremist settlers in the West Bank. There are concerns in Egypt because the Houthi attacks have compounded their economic crisis, which is one of the worst in recent memory. They fear that there will be an influx of people from Gaza coming to Egypt, they fear protests at home, and that the opposition, which has long been dormant because of the repression there, might activate again. So everyone is very, very concerned. And I mean, we might see different types of escalation, different types of blowback from the ongoing crisis. And no one seems to have been able to kind of put it back in the bottle.
Absolutely right. Samir, thanks for that. Samir Al-Atrush there covering the very latest on the situation of Pakistan carrying out airstrikes in Iran overnight.